My friends, today we have the Instagram helmet, the AGV Pista GP RR. This thing looks like it rolled straight off of a MotoGP grid, which I guess it kind of did, and straight into the garage for this review. But my question is, for $1,600 plus, what kind of helmet are you gonna be getting? I've been riding around in this thing for the last probably month and a half now, and today it's going to get its review, and we'll see how it actually stands up against all the other helmets I've been reviewing. I'm Chaseontwowheels, this is Moto Gear Show. Let's get into it. Now, you guys are probably not new to Moto Gear Show. You guys know how this thing rolls. RevZilla sent us out the AGV Pista GP RR, and thank God they did, because $1,600 to do a helmet review for you guys, I'd be broke. Luckily, they sent the helmet out to get an independent review, so that is what we are going to do. This video is not sponsored. We don't do sponsorship stuff like that on these episodes. We want independent reviews so you guys can get the best information you possibly can. But the best way you guys can help us out with that is if you are looking for gear, helmets, gloves, jackets, pants, boots, airbags, anything you want, use our affiliate links in the description down below, and we will get a kickback when you guys purchase gear at RevZilla, and you guys don't pay anything. That's how we support everything we do with these reviews. Thank you guys so much for using those links. Let's get into this helmet review. So guys, the AGV Pista GP RR is AGV's top of the line race helmet. This is literally the same helmet worn by MotoGP racers. It's FIM certified, it's ECE 2206 rated, and it's fully carbon fiber. Now, this thing retails for about $16.99, or at least the version that I got with this design, the Intrepido Carbon. It's Italian, what do you want to do? But depending on the design you go with, you could easily spend over $2,000 on a Pista GP RR. Now, it does come in 4 shell sizes from extra small all the way up to XXL. It weighs in at about 1,450 grams and features AGV's Pro Spoiler out back, a class-leading 190-degree horizontal field of view, and a hydration-ready interior. That means no sun visor, no frills. This thing is unapologetically race-focused, and I think you're gonna notice a couple things that really make that make sense throughout this video. So guys, let's start with fit and comfort for the helmet. Now, when I ordered the helmet, I got a size large. Now, not only is that the size I wear in most other helmets, but I measured my head, and that is the exact size that I was told on their size chart. And let me tell you guys, this helmet fits way tighter than the usual helmet. Now, at first, this isn't too bad because the helmet fits really snug on your head, and the cool thing about the different shell sizes is this helmet very much felt like the exact same size as my head. There was none of that weird bobblehead effect that some helmets can give you. Also, with the cheek pads, this helmet is not messing around. It is holding onto your head very tight. Now, to be fair, the Pista does come with AGV's 360 adaptive fit system, and it's really neat. You can take the padding out of the helmet, and using different little Velcro pieces here at the top, you can move it around and kind of custom fit the helmet to your head. It also comes with some extra padding just to fill in some gaps if it's a little too loose in some spaces. So that kind of customizability and fine tuning is actually really nice. Even with that customizability being said, I still had an issue with this helmet where I was getting some pressure points behind my ears at about 45 minutes of ride time, and then at about an hour to an hour and 15, I was getting like serious hot spots to the point where I had to pull over and take the helmet off. So I'm really not able to wear this helmet for longer than maybe say an hour, and even that is pushing it. When I was testing this helmet out, I knew this helmet was a race helmet, so instinctively I was like, you know what? It's probably gonna fit a little tighter. It's a race helmet. I'll take some Advil so that I can like prep up for having a headache, and that did not do anything. And remember, I ordered the size that I was told to buy from the measuring and all that kind of stuff, and it still gave me some massive pressure points back here. So I don't really know what's going on with that, but this is definitely not a comfort helmet that you're gonna wear for a long period of time, at least in my testing. Now, before we get too far into the review, I do want to kind of lay the groundwork for what this helmet is up against, because when you're spending this kind of money, you got options. Now, with a price tag of $1,700, the Pista GP RR comes in at the top of that premium race helmet tier, and here's what it stacks up against. Now, first up, we've got the Shoei X15. It's coming in at a price tag between $900 and $1,000, depending on what graphic option you go with. It's also coming in at a weight of 1,600 grams. That's compared to the Pista's 1,450 gram weight, but it's way more comfortable, actually has visor detents, and has toggleable vents. Next up, we have the Corsair X, coming in at a price tag between $850 and $1,000, again, depending on what graphic option you go with. It's coming in at a similar weight to the Shoei, and it's also known for that plush comfort, but you're also going to be sacrificing a little bit of field of view. Next up, we have the Alpinestars SuperTech R10, which is the new lid on the block. That's going to come in at a price tag of $1,000 to $1,300. Now, this one's going to be a little lighter than the other two options, coming in at 1,540 grams, which is getting close to that lightweight of the AGV Pista. Now, the SuperTech R10 is going to have those MotoGP credentials, it's going to have fantastic aerodynamics, and great ventilation. Next up, we have the KYT KX1, which is going to come in at a price tag between $600 and $800, but that's going to get you a lightweight, race-ready rig. But it doesn't feel nearly as premium as you're going to feel with that AGV. So yeah, as you guys can see, the Pista is easily the most expensive of this bunch, but it's also the lightest. So you end up trading off that day-to-day comfort and usability for the MotoGP level wind profile and that carbon flex. Basically, you're paying for the race DNA, not the comfort features. Alright, so guys, next up, let's talk about wind and stability, and this is where this helmet shines. I gotta be honest with you guys, I have never experienced the feeling that I feel on the Pista GP RR while riding. You literally cut through the wind with that helmet like it's not there. Like as close as I've ever felt to literally no buffeting on my head or my neck. It's incredibly impressive, and I hate how much this helmet costs. But when I see what it does in the wind and as I'm going on my motorcycle, and I tested this helmet on my MT-10, no wind protection at all, just full wind on me. When I experienced that, I was like, okay, cool. I see why people want to race in this helmet. And the rear spoiler on the back looks kind of simple, but the faster you go, the better the helmet does at feeling like it's not even there. It's kind of crazy. And another thing I was kind of surprised about when it comes to the helmet was this helmet looks tiny. It feels tiny on my head, and I expected to have not a lot of space like in front of my mouth, but I was like pleasantly surprised. There's plenty of space in front of your mouth, so I kind of expected a really tight experience. And yes, the padding is super tight, but it's not really tight up by your mouth because I don't really like that feeling. So next up, let's talk about visors with the helmet. Now, optically, the visor is fantastic, and that's pretty good because this helmet has a really wide field of view, so it'd be very easy to get a little optically weird on the sides or something like that, but I was very happy with how the visor looks, both looking directly out of it and to the sides. The visor is also pin lock ready, so you don't have to worry about fogging up on the inside, and it's tear off ready, so if you're actually gonna do track days or racing with this helmet, you can just attach the tear offs and tear them off so you can get the visor clean very easily. I also appreciate how many options you have for colors that AGV is offering. This is a very looks focused helmet, so people are gonna get it to match the helmet itself, they're gonna match their gear, their motorcycle, and AGV offers a ton of options for reflective colored visors, so me being a looks guy, I do really appreciate it. And final really positive note about the visor is the locking mechanism. When you lock this visor, it is locked, it is shut. The only way to open it is press the little button on the front, and then it will unlock and you can actually open the visor. So in a race situation, you can feel good that when your visor is closed and locked, it's not gonna be opening unless you want it to be open. I will note that if you decide to make videos with this helmet, and we'll talk more about this in the Moto Vlogging section, but if you fully close your visor and you have a helmet camera on the front of your helmet, it is gonna make it a lot harder to get to that visor opening mechanism button. So just keep that in mind. Now, I do have a major gripe with the visor, and again, it's a race helmet, but I'm judging things for a road use, and that's just what it is. But there are no detents on this visor, and I mean none. You either have it fully locked and shut, you have it unlocked and just the lock pin just sitting down so it gives it a little bit of a crack, or the visor is wiggling. I'm not talking like you can open it and it locks in a detent at the top. It literally has nothing stopping it from going up and down. So if you're one of those people that likes to actually maneuver your visor into a certain location, this visor will not do that. And I get that it's a race helmet, totally understand that. But to a certain degree, I feel like some usability for road use should be thought about in a helmet, and having no detents. And guys, I'm talking like you literally can't lock the detent of the visor fully open. Like, it's literally, I don't understand. So the no detent thing is kind of ridiculous in my opinion. I've tested out $200 helmets that have that. I mean, how do we not have that? I don't know. I just like a pet peeve that like I couldn't open the visor and it stay open. That got so annoying. So anytime you see the cool little Instagram guys like shut their visor, just know that they don't have to do it hard. You can literally just do like this and the visor will shut itself. Okay, so next up, let's talk about ventilation, and this is gonna be another kind of weird spot. So if you look at the front of the helmet, you're gonna notice 2 vents here at the bottom, and then you're gonna notice 3 vents at the top, a central vent and 2 on the side. So we've got a decent amount of venting on the helmet, and you're gonna notice a little something weird if we look close. There's no way of shutting any of these vents. They are just fully open all the time. Now, inside the box, AGV gives you 5 little plugs that you can pop into those inserts, and it will block those vents off from letting air or water in if you're riding in the rain. But there is no way to just pop a lever and close these things. And I'm pretty sure none of you guys are gonna ride around with a helmet with like rubber slots in your pocket, and you're just gonna like pop it out and like close them. I don't think anybody's gonna do that. And also, they're tiny little black things. You're gonna lose them, if not the day you get them, probably the next day. I just think this is kinda silly. Like, I understand why, I understand that it's a race helmet, but this is making the usability of the helmet pretty crazy bad. Also, for all those vents that are just stuck open all the time, the ventilation wasn't bad, but I really honestly expected there to be a lot more air flowing into the helmet. I ended up riding around in this helmet, and we're getting kind of close to summertime. I almost could not ride in the helmet if I had the visor all the way shut. If I didn't have the visor cracked, I was really dying for air. So the airflow is really not as crazy as you would think. Now let's talk visibility super fast, because the Pista does an absolutely fantastic job with this. When I put this helmet on, you really get a sense of being able to see everything around you. The only thing I will note is because of the little nose guard that it has, it does block your instrument panel a little bit. And keep in mind, I did all of my testing on my 2019 MT10, so I'm sitting upright and my control panel's way down here. So the little nose guard blocked a little bit of that, but I never found an issue with it or anything like that. It was just one of those, like if I wanted to check my speed or something like that, it's a slight glance down. Overall, I really do like the visibility in the helmet. Next up, let's talk about Bluetooth, because I think most of us are riding around with some sort of Bluetooth thing on our helmet, listening to music, talking to your buddies. It's the way to go. I personally use Cardo. They're a sponsor on the channel. I absolutely love their products. So I installed a PackTalk Edge Pro on my helmet, and mounting the actual base of the Cardo wasn't really that big of a deal. The helmet does look aggressive, but the side of the helmet only has a slight curve, so there's plenty of space to actually mount the side and mount piece of the Cardo. It was the wiring that got a little finicky. So the lower neck roll, the very bottom part of the padding on the inside of the helmet, all comes out as one piece. So that's good for racing and safety, but it makes it a little harder to route wires. What I ended up doing is, as you guys can see on the side of the helmet, it actually looks kind of clean, but I ran the wires, like, if you think about it, like the helmet is here, and that padding slides into the helmet. So if my Cardo is here, I routed the wires in and up over a little padding slot, and that got the wires inside the helmet. Now, the pro of that is the wiring looks really clean. The downside of that is because the wires are going in inside where that padding is supposed to fit in, the padding doesn't fit in great. Now, I have seen some people actually cut a slot in that padding so that the wires can go in. You can do that. You're doing that on a $1,600 helmet, and the need for customization does not end there. Now, once you get the wires inside the helmet, we now have the second problem, and that is where do we place our ear pieces, the pieces that actually shoot the music into your ears? So, like I told you guys, the Pista fits very tight to your head and there's not a lot of extra space. Now, if you wanted to, you could just run the speaker right where your ear is gonna go on the side of the padding. But there's no Velcro there, and when you put a tight helmet on, your ear is just gonna push that speaker up. It's gonna be a pain, nobody's gonna wanna do that. So what I ended up doing and have done on the helmet is I have just slotted the speaker behind the padding on the inside, like the side padding. Now there's no cutout in the foam for the speaker, so you are gonna have a little more pressure on your ears, but in my opinion, that is the best way to do that. The main issue with that is there's a little more pressure here, and then the sound of the speaker, which these speakers sound fantastic. In other helmets that I've mounted them in, they sound great. In this helmet, it literally sounds like somebody in another room next to my room is playing music. You guys know what I'm talking about? Where you're listening, you can hear the music, but it just sounds like this because it's having to go through too many things. That's what your music sounds like while you're riding around in a Pista, and that's with using the best speakers on the market currently inside of a motorcycle helmet. So it is what it is. The mounting system for the microphone for my Cardo, super simple. Just use the tape that came in the thing and it mounted very easily to the front of the helmet, so no problem there. My main issue with all of the Bluetooth stuff is the speaker placement. I can kind of look past the wires having to go around and the padding not perfectly fitting in there, and the neck roll actually does a good job of allowing you to route the wires to the other side of the helmet, so that's all good. It's just the speaker placement that I really wish was a little better. Next up, let's talk about moto vlogging. I know a ton of you guys are interested in moto vlogging with helmets that we're doing reviews on, so let's talk about it. Now, I want to be clear. To moto vlog in a helmet, I need two main things. First off, I need the helmet to be really comfortable because when I go out to ride and make my videos, I'm normally, most of the time, I'm gonna be out for a long time and I'm gonna have the helmet on for an extended period of time. So I've gotta have something that's comfortable. Secondly, I need something that is going to have decent noise on the inside and sound okay because I want my audio to sound good so you guys and you're listening to my audio and it sounds okay. The Pista is a very tight, very uncomfortable helmet that makes a lot of noise. So the Pista is literally everything I don't need in a helmet to be a good moto vlogging helmet, so that's why you guys have not seen me wear this helmet in any first rides. In a lot of the other helmet reviews, what I like to do is wear some of these helmets that I'm testing out in my first ride so you guys can hear the audio. I have not been happy with any of the audio I've gotten out of the Pista, and I literally cannot wear this helmet for longer than 45 minutes to an hour, which means it doesn't really work for moto vlogging. Now the question is, can you moto vlog with this helmet? Absolutely. If you don't need the top quality audio in your videos, it can totally do that. Now I will note that this helmet is very sharp in the front. As you guys can see, it comes together really tightly. So for mounting a camera in the front, you got two options. One, you can get a specialty mount that fits that contour of the helmet perfectly, and you just get a little GoPro clip to go in there, problem solved. Or you're gonna have to use like 5 GoPro bracket things that go into little 2-slot camera thing, and it's gonna have to go off from the side and come up to the front. You can rig all that stuff up, but I have a feeling that most of you guys are gonna be buying a Pista for the way it looks, and the last thing you're gonna wanna do is put damn scaffolding on the side of the helmet just so you can get an action camera on the front of it. So I guess that's up to you guys, but you know, do whatever you want. It's totally possible. I don't think your audio is gonna be great, and to get a helmet camera on the front of it, you're gonna kind of ruin the whole sleek vibe of the helmet. So is it possible? Sure. Are you gonna get the best quality audio and video? I don't think so. All right, so before we wrap this up, let's give the AGV Pista GP RR its chase score. So for comfort and fit, I'm gonna give this helmet a 5. I gave this helmet 1 point in this category for every 10 minutes that I could wear it comfortably. I massively rounded up. Next, for ventilation, I'm gonna give it a 7. It's definitely not bad because you know all those vents are stuck open unless you plug them, but for as many vents as on the front of this helmet, I kind of expected it to flow a little more air. Now for noise level, I'm gonna give this thing a 6, and I feel like that's being generous. Remember guys, this is a race helmet. They want it to be light and they want it to flow through the air easily. They don't give a crap if it's comfortable or loud. Next up for visibility, I'm gonna give this thing a 10. I have no issues with the visibility whatsoever, especially considering it's a race helmet and you're gonna be racing tucked down or you're gonna be on a super sport. I'm on a naked bike and that's the only time my visibility down here was a little compromised, but even then it was a little. Overall, visibility is fantastic. Now for weight, again, I'm gonna give this thing a 9 out of 10. It's 1,450 grams. It's a very light helmet, and if you mix that with how much it cuts through the air, this thing's great for high speed. Now for comm setup, I'm gonna give it a 4. Between the wiring issues and there's no area for a speaker, it just really doesn't work that great for installing a Bluetooth system. Now for the Moto Vlogging setup, I'm gonna give it a 5 actually. There's enough space in front of your mouth to put a microphone up there, and there are a way to mount and get a camera up front, so it's definitely possible. I just think the audio quality you're gonna get out of this helmet is gonna drop the points down and really make it not great to Moto Vlogging. Next up, we have features, and for that, I'm gonna give it a 7. It's got fantastic safety, it's very light, and it flows air over it very quickly. But the visor doesn't have detents, the vents can't close. There are very simple and expected things that I would want out of a helmet that it just doesn't have, but it does the things it does well, really well, so I'm giving it a 7. For the next category, we have value for money. I feel like this is going to be a very generous score. I'm gonna give it a 5. It's a race helmet. It does racy things very well. It cost on the low end $1,600. I'm just gonna say 5 and we're just gonna move on to the next category. So final category, durability and build quality. And I know I'm harping on this helmet. It doesn't do a lot of things that a road helmet needs to do, and it's because it's not a road helmet, it's a race helmet. But the things it does pretty well. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10 for durability and build quality. That visor locking in and shutting is pretty solid, and everything feels very well put together. It doesn't feel $1,600 put together well, but it feels pretty good. So guys, here's the thing. The Pista GP RR feels like a piece of pro-level race equipment. Because it is literally brought from MotoGP and allowed to be sold on the market. That's solid. If you are chasing lap times and you are racing or doing a lot of track days, I totally understand this helmet. Grab some earplugs and it's going to be fantastic for a 20-minute track session, right? No problems. I'll even go a step farther. I totally understand why some Instagram guys grab this thing. It flows air over it better than almost any helmet I've ever tried. It's got a tight shell shape to your head so you're not a bobblehead, and its defining feature. It is probably the coolest looking helmet on the market. So if you're an Instagram guy taking photos of yourself and your motorcycle and you want to look really cool and you want to do really dumb shit on the highway at high speeds, you need a helmet that is incredibly safe and can flow air over it and looks really cool. It's literally a helmet that does all of those things. So even for the dumb Instagram stuff, I totally get it. But for us regular everyday riders that just want to ride our motorcycles around and enjoy riding all day or going up to the mountains and having a good time, this helmet doesn't make any sense. There are other helmets that cost a third or half the price that have better features, more comfortable, still cut through the air very well, and do everything that you expect a helmet to do for you without sacrificing all of the things that you need just for a little cooler look and better air flowing over the helmet. Guys, these are just my opinions, but you are never going to see me riding in the AGV Pista GP RR unless the video I'm filming or the photo I'm taking, I want to look a very specific way. That is the only time I'm gonna grab this helmet. Even for track purpose, I'm gonna go with my SuperTech R10 every single time. I get 90% of the air cut through flowage that the GPRR gives me. I get all of the creature comforts, and it's actually a comfortable helmet. I can wear the SuperTech R10 all day with no problems. I've literally done it multiple times. I can't wear the Pista for more than 45 minutes. So I just don't see myself ever going for the Pista. So if you guys see a photo with me in it, just know that I wanted to look like with that helmet. Anyways, guys, if you guys want to support these independent helmet reviews that we put out for you guys, make sure to use those affiliate links for Revzilla when buying your gear down below. Remember, they don't cost you guys anything extra, and we get a kickback. It's what supports the show. But anyways, guys, thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked it, hit that like button. It really helps the channel out, and I appreciate you. Subscribe if you like motorcycle content, and if you have an AGV Pista GP RR and you've been riding around in it, drop a comment and let us know what you think about the helmet. This whole video is just my opinions. I'm just one dude, so my head could be a different shape or my experience could be a little different. I love having comments down below of people that actually have more experience in these things, and you can let us know what you think about them down below. Did I get something right? Did I get something wrong? Let us know, and let's have an awesome conversation down there, guys. I'll see you on the next one in a different helmet, because we rotating. We just rotating these things out. That is it. Okay.